Now let's look at our online ordering tab, and we're going to go through this. Now we're going to look at some more advanced Excel options. So the first thing is I have a list of items that we're buying from a store: a headlamp, fleece jacket, hiking shorts, tent, sleeping bag. We have prices and quantities. So, and what we're going to do is we're going to total that up. We're going to figure out the discount. Well, we have a cool little table here. So if we've got between $0 and $249 and there's no discount, if we've got between $250 and $499, we get 5%, 7% to a maximum discount of $600. And another thing from where we're ordering is we get free shipping if the pre-discount price is $600. Otherwise, it's going to be $9.99 to ship it. So let's go and figure things out. Let's do the first thing. We're just going to calculate out what the total price of each individual line item is. So I'm going to take my headlamps. I'm going to multiply it by quantity. I'm going to pick the right quantity there. And so $45. Now, once again, if I click on this, it highlights in color on my equation ribbon up here, but then it will highlight the cells. So once again, we can check to make sure that we're doing things correctly. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this one down all the way to fill all those equations in. And so now what I want to do is I want to calculate out the total. So equals. Now I can go D2 plus D3 plus da da da. I'm just going to use the sum function. And the sum is just like sum product. It will take everything that I throw into the thing and we'll add them together. And so I'm just going to left click. I'm going to use it as an array. And I'm going to tell it to take all those numbers right there and add them together. So I've got 565.89. And so just one thing to point out with that sum, I don't have to do it in a row. It will do an entire array. So I could sit there and go sum all of those numbers together, and it will do it. But in this case, we just want D2 through D6. And so there we go. And now let's figure out what's the percentage of the total that each of these items is. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go equals the price of the headlamp. I'm going to divide that by my total. And then I'm going to take that and I'm going to drag it down. Oh, that doesn't look right. I got a bunch of divide by zero errors. Well, let's go figure out what's going on. So if I click in the equation bar, it goes, okay, D3, that's right. Divide by D8. Oh, what happened? Well, everything indexed, including my total price. So I want to stop it from doing that. So I got two ways of doing that. One is I'll just come up here. I can sit here and I can lock in, hit F4, completely lock in the total so it does not move. And if I drag that down, everything works now. Let's go back one. Now I did a little bit of overkill because I really don't care if the column changes. So I could have just put and locked in my row number with my $sign and gotten the same thing. Or there is a third one. There's a couple different ways that we can do this, but I can rename the cell. And right now I'll just show you the quick way. If I just type in total there, notice that D7 shows up as total. If I go back in now and click on that cell to put it in my equation, it says total. Now, the nice thing about naming the cell is it doesn't index because you can't index total because it's just a word, total. Okay, so I have that all in there. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to calculate out what my discount is. And so what I can sit there and do is go, okay, well, I've got 565, that puts me in the 7% discount. And so then I can sit there and go, okay, well, my discount is going to be this number times 7%. And so my discount is $39. And then, okay, I can look at it and go, well, that is above the 600. So now that's going to be a shipping cost of $9.95, fine. And then I go, my amount due is going to be the total minus the discount plus the shipping. And so now I have my total price. The problem is with what I just did, I can automate all that so I don't have to look it up. Because now what happens if I sit here and go, okay, well, let's order 5 fleece jackets. That puts my total above 600, but now this discount is 10% and the shipping goes away. And I have to manually do that. So we don't want to manually do anything. We want this automated. So what do? Well, I want to set it up to where it's going to look up the discount for me. So let's do a different function. This is why I have this little table here of amount spent and discount. We're going to do Vlookup. So what is Vlookup? Vlookup looks up a value in the column of the table. And as you can see, it looks for a value in the leftmost column of the table and then returns the value from the same row that you specify. So by the default, the table must be assorted in ascending order. Okay. So you can see for Vlookup, we need a lookup value, a table array, a column index number, and then a range lookup. So the first thing that we're going to do is the lookup value. So what are we going to be looking up? Well, we're going to be looking up what the total is, because I'm going to look up that total in my table. So comma, my table array is this guy right here. Now, I need to make sure to select, so if you look the leftmost here, this is where our lookup value is going to be. And then we can have any number of lookup values here, but right now we've only got one. We've got the discount. So we want to make sure that's all in the array. Now, column index number, what does this mean? This is which value are you going to return. Well, I want to return the value that's in the discount. So in this array, this would be column 1. So that would be column 2. So I want it to give me back column 2. And so the last thing is the range lookup. So you have true, false, which should also be 1, 0. Now this can be important because, especially in this case, we do not have an exact number because the 565.89 is not in the table. So what we're going to do is what's called true or an approximate match. And so what that's going to do, and this is why that table must be is going to be in ascending order, because it's going to keep looking and it's going to go, okay, 0, keeps going, okay, I hit 250, I hit 500, 565, so that means I'm going to default back to what 500 is. If I do false, it has to be an exact match, which we don't want because there's not going to be an exact match, but sometimes, depending on the table, that's what it's going to be. So now if I close that and execute it, it's going to come back as 0.07. I know the dollar sign's there because it's set up as currency. If I go and I change this to number, it'll be 0.07. If I change it to percentage, it'll be 7%. But I'm going to take that back to currency because what I want to do is, that gives me the percent, but I actually want to know what the value of that is. So I've got the percent there. I'm just going to multiply that by my order total. And so now that gives me that $39.61 of my discount. So what happens if I add that fleece shirt in? Well, now it kicks up to that 10%. So Vlookup is a very powerful function, especially as we're looking for things going in tables and whatnot, which we're going to be using that quite a bit. So I'm going to put that to 4. And so now we have our shipping. So our shipping is once again keyed into that pre-discount number. So what I want to do is I want to use a different function called if. And it checks whether or not a condition is met and then returns a value of true and a value of false. So I want to do if, and so the logical test. So in this case, my logical test is going to be, is this number, is my total, greater than my pre-shipping discount? So if, and notice that gives you the value if true, value if false. If my total is greater than 600, since this is going to be my shipping value, if that is true, 0. We're going to add no shipping cost. But if it is false, we have to add the $9.99 to it. And so now, you can see the number didn't change because our value of our total is not greater than K9. It's false. So that means we're going to add the shipping in there. So now let's add that extra fleece jacket on there because, you know, we're looking at $536. If I add that fleece jacket, I kick up to the higher discount, but I also get free shipping. And there we go. So the higher discount, free shipping, and then notice the cost difference between the two. The opportunity cost is it only cost us $4 instead of $35 to get that extra fleece jacket because we get the higher discount, we get the shipping. And this is, once again, this is the kind of stuff operations managers will look at is, okay, well, I'm getting another, I mean, it's almost, why not get the new jacket, the extra jacket, since it's only going to be $4 extra. Now this is completely automated. So if I sit here and let's say that for some reason I wanted to drop everything to just the tent, okay, it calculates that at our discount for us, which is nothing. It adds the shipping on. So we don't have to worry about calculating this all because we built it into the sheet. And that's where smart programming is going to save you quite a bit of work. Okay, and so in the next video, we're going to sit here and talk about these other functions here.